So here we are with Ian Newbury. He's the head coach of Cardiff Demons. Had an astonishing win against Barrow at the weekend. So Ian, just talk us through, what it was like to secure that win and what kind of factors were at play to allow you to come out on top.
Yeah, so I think when we got the Challenge Cup draw at the start, we'd always kind of identified Barrow as being a must-win game for us. We knew that they were obviously newly promoted to Super League. And it was going to be a hard competition, and that's what they brought. They brought a really tough defence. They were hard to break down. And for us, we don't have the benefit of having sort of a pre-season running, so it was very much learn on the go. 3 girls on sort of debuting rugby league on its own. So yeah, there was a steep learning curve for a number of people, and it was something that we just had to take in our stride, build into the game, and break them down over time.
And Ian, you had a good run in the Challenge Cup last year, didn't you? Is this something that you've been focusing on in pre-season? You're looking to go one step further than last year?
Yeah, I think last year it was our first go, and we said to ourselves, look, we wanted to get out of that group stage. We kind of knew that we could if we got the right draw, and we knew that we had to play our best, but it was something that was achievable for us. And I think for last year, it was kind of seeing where we were, and where we were is that we got to that quarter final against York, and then that was where we kind of exited. But for us this year, and the way that it's worked out for us, obviously this whole competition's happening before our season kicks off, and then we'll have a break into our season, so we can kind of really hit it with the ground running and give everything to it. So that's what our pre-season was built into. We've done it longer than we usually would. We started sort of in January, which is a 10-week running for us. It's the longest pre-season we've had as a club, and we've really put a target on. This year we want to get one step further. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but it's what we want to kind of aim for and achieve, and that's why we set these targets.
And you've got Salford Reds coming up, haven't you, this weekend? Do you know what you can expect from Salford?
Yeah, we played them last year, and I think again, it was a learning curve for us. It was our first trip up into the north of England for a game, and it was our first win over a north of England side. And I think, again, they were a tough side. They brought physicality, grittiness, and they were always in that game. I think with that game we won sort of in the last minute. I think this year, they'll the score against Wigan might have been what looked like a blowout, but I know, having spoken to their coach, it's a rebuild year for them. They're bringing new girls in, and they're probably going to be in a very similar situation with girls starting to gel into combinations, and I'm sure they'll grow over this competition as we will.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering, what were the stories? What were the things that that you kind of used to build the team up for the game at the weekend?
I think sometimes it's you go into it, and we're always considered the underdog as we go into these competitions. And I actually kind of had a look just beforehand, what was the bookies lying on us, and they'd actually put us in as favourites. I was like, oh god, that's the first time we've ever been a favourite. So I kind of stayed away from it. I think that kind of message of just you've got to stay together, come really show what you're made of and what we're doing in Wales and what you're building as a club, because we are a club that it's a women's only club. We don't have a male counterpart that goes with us, so we're building it from the ground up. For 3 years in, and every year we kind of take that step forward, whether it's on the field, off the field. And I think for them, we get a real sense of being part of that kind of development, and the pioneers of the Cardiff Demons and women's rugby in Wales.
Yeah, certainly whenever we speak to anybody sort of up in the heartlands, they seem to know that Cardiff are a team on the rise. What are your sort of long-term plans? Are they eventually to get into that sort of second-tier Super League?
Yeah, so I think where it's set now with the pyramid structure, this is the first year it comes into play. We have every aim of this year getting to that sort of national championship final and pushing for the opportunity to play in that Super League playoff. But the aim is to bring a Welsh side, 7 side, into that main competition, and then eventually compete and get to the point where we can win it. And I truly believe we've got the talent down here. There's, an element of understanding and learning the game that we have to do. And I think every year that we compete in these competitions against the better sides, we get that understanding. So, I think, from the Wales perspective as well, people might say, well, what's the kind of point in the game against England? Well, the point for us is that every year we see where we are. Every year we compete for a little longer. We do something else. It's all about building up and getting that kind of experience to get against a better opposition and seeing where we can really get to. It's not going to happen overnight, but there is definitely the talent available within this squad and within the area if we can draw them to it to win the Super League.
Ian, who's been some of the standout players for you so far?
Yeah, so obviously Leanne Donnell, the fullback. I think on the weekend she kind of went up another level again. She was really outstanding. Zoe Healy on the wing, well led from the front. Sarah Jones in the front row. Probably don't give her enough credit, but I think I took her off for 5 minutes and then went down and said, you better go back out there. And she never moans, she just gets on with it. There's a lot of players that are putting their hands up, and then there's Meg Whittaker, who's just come in this year. It was her debut on the weekend. I threw her in at the middle, and she came on, played hooker for quite a considerable amount of time. And yeah, I think there's some special things to come from her this season.